Am I the asshole for stopping my husband from traveling? It's been a very pro-wife stream so far. We've had a lot of Am I the Asshole sections that were like, women be shopping. Today, the men have been in the wrong, like almost exclusively. It's a much more comfortable place to be as a streamer than being like, well, I get that she's pregnant, but at the same time, did she have to call the cops? It's just like, I think he's in the wrong, but did she have to call the police? Just easier to be like, wow, this dude's an idiot, lol. Thanks for the gifted subscriptions. And I love it. I think it's a bit of a red flag when you tell your husband you're pregnant and he says, I still want to travel. That's not what you want to hear as like the first thing to come out of that discussion, I think. Also, like, it's a little parent posting, okay? But like, it's naive to think that, oh, we can still travel because my parents can watch the baby. Like, what are you going to do? The first year is like fucked up. I'm not saying like that it is good that there's someone to watch the baby. What I'm trying to say instead is you need to be there for the baby. Like, literally, you're like nursing or pumping or bonding or like, so on and so forth. You can't just be like, bye. We're going to Cabo San Lucas. Like you can't really just put it in with the babysitter. Like when you're older or when the baby's older, if your kid's like, 12, leave the kid with the grandkids over 1 month of summer vacation and go travel or something. They'll be fine. I know it's less like, oh, we can't travel because of the kid. It's much more like, oh, I don't want to travel because I would be like a piece of... Like, I don't think going away now and then makes you like a bad parent. But if you're like, oh, I gotta... This fucking kid's eating into my travel time, then I think it makes you like a bad parent. You got to be there for your child on top of, doing the things that need to be done. You need to like build the familial bond. The kid needs you. They don't have any choice in the matter. Like you gotta make the decision for both of you. Anyway, fast forward to now. Our baby's 8 months old. My husband's an incredible father. He hasn't been anywhere since the baby was born, but he did occasionally talk about where to go next to travel. I honestly thought at this point he should just stay home and be a father because he's a parent now. He shouldn't be gone even for a day away from our baby. I told him this. He got a bit upset. He wanted to think things through and so asked for a little mental space not to talk about the subject. But then literally the next day, his college friend contacted him and invited him to a wedding in Taiwan. He told me this and said his friend was the one who helped him go through a lot in his college years and at least give him 4 or 5 days to visit there. I still said no because things changed. My husband explained and said that I broke the promise I made when I was pregnant. Okay. Things change, brother. I actually think he's in the right, but I don't know let me know how that works out for you. He kept telling me to give the baby to my parents to watch. I said we wouldn't be responsible parents if we did that. He kept claiming it's responsible because we know the baby will be safe, but I kept arguing that it doesn't work that way. I can take him to court if he wants to abandon the baby. He broke his game system out of anger. Sorry, I need to scroll. He broke his game system out of anger and has gotten silent afterwards. He only communicated about baby-related things but wouldn't talk to me about anything else. Am I the asshole? Bro, this chick made him break his PS5. Are you serious right now? There's a supply chain crunch. No. Don't do me or the PS5. I think she should just eat this one. I'm sorry to say. I do think it's a little early. Like in the first 8 months to be like, I would like to leave for 5 days. That seems kind of crazy to me. But like a 4 to 5 day trip to go to your friend's wedding, that seems fair to me as someone who just went through 6 days of it with a child when the daycare was closed. And also I had norovirus. Like I lived. I didn't almost die. I said I lived. There's two different things. No, that's what I'm saying. I think she crossed the line. Like he's like, I'm going to go to my friend's wedding for 4 days. She said no. He said, I'd really like to. She said, I could take you to court which I don't even think is true. Like, no disrespect. I'm not trying to call your bluff and make you feel bad. But if you can't do 4 days of like solo baby care, I'm not saying it's going to be easy. But if you can't do 4 days of solo baby care, you're not going to contact a lawyer, drag this guy to court for what? Because he went on a vacation for 4 days? I mean, like, it's just not reasonable. That's way more work. That's like, oh, if you leave me this much work, then I'm going to do 3 times as much work as that over the course. I'm going to sustain this grudge for the 18 months it takes to get this in front of a judge. Like, that's just unlikely to happen, I would say. I don't think he's the asshole. I think she's, well, I don't know. He shouldn't have broken his console. There's kids out there that would love to have that, man. Well, wait, was it? Yeah, if it was like a Wii U, then I guess I would allow it. But at the same time, I can also understand, like, your baby's only 8 months old as your first kid, to be like, I'd like to go to Taiwan. I feel like if I brought that up to Kate in May 2021, she would have laughed in my face, and I would have been like, just kidding. Unless you're gonna do it, do it, do it, do it. In lockdown? I don't know, fucking, are we still in lockdown? I never know these days. No, kind of, I don't know. We're fine now? I don't know, when we went to San Diego, they were like, if you fly from a Canadian airport and land in the United States and you're not fully vaccinated, you have to sign like an affidavit that says you're gonna quarantine for 2 weeks. Which is like, first off, was not for me. It was for my child, who at the time had only had the 1 dose that was offered to them. But they need 2 doses in order to be considered fully fucking vaccinated. And I was also like, excuse me, can you give me President Joe fucking Biden on the phone? He's a dude who did a press release that said, we beat COVID. Meanwhile, his ass is like, oh, don't let in the Canadians. Hey, the Canadians have to self-isolate if they come to fucking Florida. I know San Diego's in California. I wanted to pick a state that made my point better. I'm sorry. But like, fucking look in the mirror, idiot. They're like, only domestic COVID is okay, all right? We don't want any Canadian COVID here. And then it was worse because we were like calling the airlines. Like, hey, this is Alaska Air. And I'd be like, hey, so I just read online that according to the CDC, there's like a binding resolution that if you fly from Canada into the United States, we have to sign an affidavit that we're going to stay in our hotel room for 2 weeks to quarantine. Is that true? And then they would go, no, we don't have anything like that. And I'd go, well, according to the cdc.gov, we could go to prison if we make a false statement under oath and then go out and get some coffee. And they were like, yeah, I don't really know about it. We don't really care about that anymore. We don't have any restrictions. And I was like, okay, well, thanks for your help. Hold on, I'm just trying to see. You're the asshole. Okay, I don't know. It seems like they're kind of being ruder to her than I would feel comfortable being. She's going through a lot right now. At the same time, she did make him break his PS5. I'm picking on this one because this post basically says, am I the asshole for hating my wife? But then they're not the asshole. So I gotta know. Am I the asshole for following my wife's request at letting her fail and a problem bite her in the ass? I try and protect her from harsh realities or things that will turn out badly. Sometimes they're big things, sometimes they're little things. Slow down, you're going too fast. No, I'm not. I drive here all the time. Stop telling me what to do. Speed trap, speeding ticket in the mail. Owned. Thank you for your service, officer. Giving my wife a speeding ticket, winning me the argument. Don't buy that drink. You won't like it. I'ma buy it. Gross, it's pineapple. I hate pineapple. There goes $20 kind of things. I'm gonna buy it. It's so good. Oh, man. She pays the utilities for the house. She left out a lot of lights on, including the tree, around the clock. I do what I can to negate it, but never said anything. I didn't purposely run around and burn electricity to prove a point. I just didn't fuss about it. When lights, TV are on in a room and no one was in all the time, I'd simply turn things off and not say anything. She just got the bill and is flabbergasted at how expensive it was. I told her I wasn't surprised because of all the electricity we used in December. Now she's mad at me for not being sympathetic of the bill she has to pay. Am I the asshole for letting this happen and not being sympathetic? Oh, he wrote it twice. Okay. Sorry if it comes across as condescending. It's not my intention. The bill wasn't exponentially higher. It's just like $80 higher. I generally pay around 80. See, this is what it's like to be a man when you make an Am I the Asshole post. Immediately, If the roles were reversed, people would be like, let him, he needs to learn that he's not mommy's special boy. Let him suffer the consequences of his actions. I guarantee the reason he's making this one is someone probably posted info. How exactly, give me an itemized double line ledger breakdown of the bills in your house. Because if she's paying the utilities, it sounds like that you're probably a bad husband and think that she should pay for everything. Now he's got to come in here and justify himself. I pay 85% of the bills. She chose what she was able to afford and handle as she insisted she help out with the bills. Utilities are her responsibility by her choosing. I didn't just assign them to her. It's not a punishment for her behavior. It's her first time paying actual bills besides her car. There's no parental child kink here, just a difference in personalities. You don't need to you're not beholden to respond to every insane person that talks to you. You're a smart enough guy to look at the message that would suggest that and just go block. Like, that's someone asked. You're as the OP, you are the satellite dish that collects, and I say this as a streamer, I see more insanity than you. I'm sorry, I know you see crazy stuff on Twitter, but like, just by virtue of the fact that thousands of people interface with this, I become like a conduit for collecting insanity. Now, I let some of that insanity go out into the signal, and it always feels good at the time and regrettable later, but I'm just fucking absorbing like 99% of it, like, And that's my responsibility. When you're the OP, it's that in a microcosm. People can type anything they want. You don't have to respond to it just because they asked. You could say, hey, loser, get out of my thread. Sometimes you're going to feel the need, because when someone says something truly crazy, that's really easy to refute, it feels great to be like, first off, you're crazy. Secondly, it doesn't even make any sense. Am I crazy for saying who cares is $80? Like, at first I was wondering what, like how expensive electricity is. Because like our electricity plus water bill is like the same price year round. It's like the heat and the air conditioning cost the same amount, I guess. Maybe it's a little cheaper in the fall, a little cheaper in the spring. But it's like, it's about $120 a month. I will say when we lived in a shithole in college, our utility bill was like, in a 7-bedroom house, it was like $100 per month per person in the winter to heat it. Probably because the insulation was put in the house in like 1931 or something like that. The shit was leaky as hell. The landlords don't care. They're just charging you like $600 a month rent per room times 7 people for like a house that should probably be condemned. Corn in the walls. That got me laughing. Corn in the walls. Corn in the walls. Corn in the walls. This just doesn't seem like that big of a. It doesn't seem like that big of a deal. It seems like you hate your wife or your girlfriend. Does she really talk like that? Does she really say, I'ma buy it? Or is that just something you wanted to make her appear stupid to make your point stronger? So you wrote it in all caps, I'ma buy it, gross, it's pineapple, I hate pineapple, there goes $20. What drink was she buying? Pineapple juice for $20? She's shopping at Whole Foods. She's like as dumb as I am. Not the asshole. She wanted to fuck around and she found out. Me when the electricity bill is $80 higher than it normally is. Fuck around, find out. Well, just the most overused reaction image of 2022 and 2023 so far is the guy with the whiteboard. Hold on, we could do it. It's mirrored. I can't. Me when I'm like, I haven't eaten in 6 hours and I'm hungry. 1,000 people replying with fuck around, find out reaction image gif. Yay! No, not the asshole. He fucked around and found out. Not the asshole. Well, I don't think that he's the asshole. I'm mostly just like, I don't know. Why are people so giddy taking pleasure in this? Also, can I tell you another overused phrase? And normally I'm not hip with the culture, but I respect it. When people say no cap, when people drop the gritty, when people do stuff like that, I say it's kids being kids. I don't get annoyed. I don't get annoyed at the younger generation. You know what has been annoying me a lot? People tweeting insane shit like eating lunch right now and then putting hashtag IYKYK. If you know, you know. If I know, you're not that interesting. Yes, I know about lunch. Do I know about lunch? I don't know. Eating lunch right now. If you know, you know. I hate that shit. I'm getting real busy replying to emails. If you know, you know. I don't know any. What do you that you're supposed to tell me? That's the first step of social media. Is you're supposed to tell me something and then I react to it. It's not. Why are we leaving out all this breadcrumb trail? It sounds like you don't know. You know what, Jerry? Not only do I not know, I don't want to know. You don't want to know. 5 little monkeys jumping on the bed. One fell off and bonked his head. Mama called the doctor. The doctor said, "No more monkeys jumping on the bed." How do you think the doctor felt when she called him 4 more times? You guys, we are the worst mother ever. Baby's favorite bit. Dun, 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 dun. Can't tell if the wife has the naivete or competence of a child, or if OP has such an infantilized view of her we can't get an accurate idea of what's going on. Yeah, okay. Fair enough. Info. Why did you marry a woman who you're treating like a child? Oh, here we go. He's almost 40 and very educated, apparently. You're the reason that the husband stitch exists. You're the reason that heteronormative primogeniture was the dominant form of monarchical inheritance in the medieval era in Western Europe. Bro, he was negative 700. Chill out. He's literally just a guy, okay? He's just like the one we had earlier. He's just an idiot. He's not responsible for all idiots everywhere just because he shares a similar mistake. And let me guess, she's 23. Let me make up like completely fabricated story. I couldn't find an answer, but that's the scenario I'm picturing. Then you're fucking crazy, idiot. Then you're insane. I couldn't find this information. Information wasn't provided, so I'm just going to assume it was the worst it could possibly be. Because how do you not know how to manage your utilities after 20 years of living on your own? Unless they raise the rates on you, or you move to a bigger living space and aren't used to it. It's just like, people just make mistakes sometimes. Sometimes people take a big dookie, forget to flush the toilet. It happens. I mean, most of the time, I deal with this to like a much smaller extent. Sometimes I'll be doing something stupid, and then my wife will be like, "Why are you doing that? It's stupid." And then, like, I would say about half the time, I go, "You're right, this is dumb." And the other half of the time, I'm like offended that she's right. And I'm like, even if it is stupid, you should just let me be stupid and make a mistake. You should just let me get into a car accident instead so I actually learn my lesson. And then like a minute later, I'm like, no, you're right, it's stupid. So I get it, like, I get not wanting to be told what to do all the time when you're an adult. Doesn't mean that anyone's wrong in this situation. It just means it would be annoying to be outside and be like, I want to drink this pineapple juice. And then someone goes, you don't drink that pineapple juice. You don't like pineapple. And then I'm like, well, I'm 25 years old. You think I can't even figure out what drink I want? I'm going to drink it. And then I buy it and go, I hate pineapple. Yeah, you could be right. Sometimes you got to let people fight their own battles, I guess. You got to like let people be wrong sometimes. Let people enjoy not enjoying things that they don't enjoy not enjoying. Don't yuck me when I'm yumming to yuck others' yums. My ass will be like, took my bike to the lake, brought my shovel, brought my rake, took my boy to the swing, let him swing, let them ring. Bought my friends Italian beef, make them fart and make them queef. Abraham Lincoln was governor here. Only a steel man can be alive. If know what I'm talking about?